Shit's getting extremely very real.
Corruption. Why can't
Yep.
you see the chat on your end? I don't know.
That is very odd.
See with your eyes, not with your mouth. Blue raspberry.
Chat got eated.
Blue flavor.
Yeah.
What even flavor is this?
Phaaze. It's
Oh.
flavored. Don't ask me what Phaaze tastes like. Nobody knows.
Somewhere to be between antifreeze and battery acid. What a zing. Howdy, Emerald.
Yes. The fact that I have gone blind really adds to the spice.
I can feel my blood moving. Is that normal?
Probably packed the billion calories. I mean,
this is going to be the weirdest. An FBI agent is going to surely contact me when I Google search how many calories in antifreeze.
To be fair, Phaaze.
How many calories in antimatter?
Phaaze probably does have a lot of calories because it is mentioned at one point in there's a random data log that says oh yeah, it has even more energy capacity than fuel gel. It just kills you if you get near it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last part of Metroid Prime 3, we're gonna blow it up. So, we're gonna blow it all up real good.
Why is it exploding?
'Cause Samus doesn't like it. And when Samus doesn't like something, she goes...
From menshealth.com. Should you be worried about antifreeze in your food? From November 2014.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my god. So apparently, some background, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey was recalled back in 2014 in Finland, Sweden, and Norway for having a higher concentration of the antifreeze chemical propylene glycol than the countries allow.
Hey, you got...
Whoa.
You got too much antifreeze in there.
Well, Brad, back it up.
Why is less than too much a number that isn't 0?
Turns out, propylene glycol is in tons of things you eat. Ice cream, soda, frosting, frozen meals, beer, medications, and artificial sweeteners. The stuff doesn't occur in nature. You think?
Propylene glycol.
You really think something that we've called antifreeze occurs in nature? Antifreeze is called fire, motherfucker. That's what natural antifreeze is.
It's called propylene glycol, not polyethylene glycol?
Propylene.
Okay.
Propylene. Propylene.
Because I know polyethylene glycol, specifically, is also used in a lot of stuff. And it is also a medication that you can just buy over the counter, more commonly known as Miralax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also food manufacturers.
It's also in a lot of stuff. It's in Mr.
Yeah,
Pill.
food manufacturers use it to keep products moist and improve texture and consistency. In parentheses, yum. Also, what the fuck? It's also used in paint, detergent, pharmaceuticals, lubricants, brake fluids, fertilizers, and cosmetics. And yes, antifreeze.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Welcome back. Welcome back to Metroid. See, this is what the corruption is.
Yeah.
Samus is slowly getting infected with more and more antifreeze.
She's taken too much propylene glycol.
Oh no. According to menshealth.com, if she consumes too much, it could hurt her heart and her kidneys, says Richard Church, MD, medical toxicologist at the University of Massachusetts Medical and Health Center, hence the uproar.
Well, that's Men's Health. She's a woman.
and bird. So like
And bird, but that doesn't mean she's not a bird man. She's not a lawyer.
Harvey Birdman.
She could potentially have the power of attorney.
Woman bird.
That's actually the secret upgrade that's in this game. Power of attorney.
Oh my god. An alternate skin for Samus Aran that dresses her up like Harvey Birdman.
I would love that. I want it. Give it to me now, please.
How do we make this happen more?
I mean, there was that Harvey Birdman game on the Wii that I've been meaning to try out, because I hear it's basically Ace Attorney, not as good as Ace Attorney, but basically Ace Attorney. So, I mean... Anyway. We're here on
Harvey Birdman. Sir, to answer the question, who is Harvey Birdman? To put it simply, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, is a spin-off of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself was a spin-off of Space Ghost.
And I mean, Space Ghost Coast to Coast it's kind of one of those things from like 90s/2000s Cartoon Network where you kind of almost sort of had to be there, but at the same time, if you look it up now, it's some of the funniest fucking shit you can imagine. Like, oh, it's fantastic. Harvey Birdman is just that, except even more making fun of Hanna-Barbera cartoons from like the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Literally, they got like Hanna-Barbera cartoons are on trial.
Like,
and he has to defend them.
The fucking joke about George Jetson. We come from the far-off year of 2002! And Harvey just looks at his calendar and says 2004.
Wait a minute. Oh, God.
We are taking a slight detour onto Norian just to kind of go to this area that we didn't get to go to the first time we were here. Because it's become infected with a bunch of Phaaze. Like, you can talk to the guys and they'll be like, oh, there's a bunch of Phaaze over there. You may not want to do that, Samus, but I'm Samus. I don't give a fuck.
Phaaze, you say?
I can drink that shit.
Samus, this entire area is infected with Phaaze. We've had to shut the door. Open that shit up!
Let me in! Let me in! Oh! Damn it. That's okay, I got like 1 million missiles. And the place where we're going, we don't really need missiles anyway, so whatever.
Good lord, Luna. She Phaaze my till I...
Ugh. I also want to have a look at some enemies that we don't normally get to see, like,
what in the hell?
These fucking weird things that spit these out. Yeah,
ew.
Just
the hell?
living... Yeah, just living Phaaze things that spit other living Phaaze things. Ew! Ew! Ew!
Jesus Christ! I do not like how fast those move.
You know what?
No, thank you.
You know what? These remind me of specifically. Do you remember Toonami?
I do remember Toonami, but you have to remember that, again, in the many times I've had to admit this, I did not grow up with Cartoon Network readily available.
Oh, yeah.
But go on.
So, once upon a time during Toonami, there was something called a total immersion event, where, like, the entire block for, like, a week would have, like, some sort of crisis happening that would affect all the bumpers between, episodes of each cartoon. And this one event was called The Intruder, where a red blob thing attached itself to the Absolution, the ship, and started eating the ship. And it looked exactly like those things, except except red instead of blue.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you know what that blue crawly stuff was reminding me of?
No.
It was those lava slugs from Ocarina of Time.
Oh! Yeah!
Like whatever the hell those things were called. I can't remember off the top of my head. But like it was the texture and the way that they kind of goop around. But these things are frightening. That's the difference between like a difference between zombies from Day of the Dead versus zombies from, like 28 days later.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cute, I can walk around it too.
We're in the gun hub. This is where all the guns are.
The gub?
The gub.
Oh. Bubba Gub.
Oh, we finally found the shrimp.
There they are.
Look at these fucking things. These are Metroids.
Oh, puppy. What?
These are Metroids.
Hopping Metroid.
Hopping Metroids. Susceptible to cold-based attacks. Oh, and they can go hyper mode too. Why not?
Listen, I know that the Prime series can kind of take some liberties in terms of the design of what Metroids are.
Yeah.
This is definitely in one of those directions where we're like, oh no, a hopping Metroid. And my initial reaction is just to be like, you sure?
So, yeah. It can kind of come off a little weird, these things that they claim are Metroids that don't fly like Metroids typically do. But if you kind of look at them really close, they kind of sort of look like little tiny larval versions of the Metroid Prime's armored form from the first game.
It has been a minute since that has been something in my periphery. I have to apologize.
No, that's totally fair. It's something I might have to find and post a picture of on the Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's kind of cool that they said, oh, we're gonna make tiny little hopping Metroids. We should make them look a little bit like the Metroid Prime, a little bit, kind of.
Sure.
It's neat. We can also land our ship here now.
Is it wrong that there's a part of me that kind of wishes that her ship slowly became more blue tinted the more she got corrupted?
Oh, that would be so cool! That would be... Oh man, that would be so cool. There is a reason it doesn't, actually.
Damn it.
They do come up with a gameplay reason that it doesn't.
Hey, at least there's an in-universe reason. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying something.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, you might be wondering why we're bothering to come all the way over here when, we don't have to worry about blowing up a Phaaze meteor. It's because there's a extra boss, sort of. Also, the generator just got pulled away for some fucking reason. Oh, it's another one of these guys.
Oh, gross.
I'm just gonna kill him in one hit.
What? It's literally like you just leapt up into the air and just basketball spiked it out of the air and it exploded on impact.
Denied! Sit down!
Good
We're also
Lord.
getting another energy cell. Just in case. I just wanted to get this energy cell just in case. I'm pretty sure I have enough, but you never know.
Sure. I mean, it's not like you can instantly kill things with one shot.
Yeah, here we go.
Free battery acid.
Hell yes! So I got 7 of these bad boys now. Which should be enough to not exactly fully explore the Valhalla, but enough to get us to the room we need to get to, which has a thing that we need. But first, we got to go back to the pirate homeworld and get on a ship.
All right.
Yep. What's the deal with these doors? What's going on here? Cannot be damaged by weapons. Dang it!
Well, that's convenient. Finally, somebody in this universe was finally had the bandwidth and the wherewithal to be like, dude, there's literally like a chick who flies around the universe and she just shoots doors open. We got to make a door that you can't shoot open. Hacks! I call hacks!
That's how I open all doors!
Not anymore, bitch!
Man, come on.
This place sucks.
Look, the only reason I shoot to open doors is because that was like one of the 2 buttons I had back on the NES.
Hello?
Alright. Let's go back to Pirate Land. Your
Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
I think I gotta go to the command center.
Samus, we're begging you to use this thing called a doorknob.
Install some!
I only have one hand! I'm not gonna open shit with my non-dominant hand!
It's uncomfortable and I don't like doing it.
Also, if I try to open doors with my cannon, it just absorbs the damn doorknob! I can't turn, damn it!
Sassy Samus is funny AF to me. Sassus.
Sassus! She does that thing where she puts the whole, like, cannon end around the doorknob and just jiggles it furiously back and forward.
Gentlemen.
Lady.
Hey, only Adam's allowed to call me that.
Who?
Adam Malkovich, perfect military mind. God.
Oh, I love that actor.
Fuck!
Live action Metroid movie where John Malkovich plays Adam Malkovich.
There's 2 cool.
That'd be so weird. Samus, you need to take control of the pirate overworld. If you don't, the galaxy will be in peril.
Fight for great justice.
For the Galactic Federation.
Oh my god, the narration at the beginning of Super Metroid. The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Is at peace. Holy shit. God, what the fuck?
Ew, what's this thing? Gross.
I don't know, just attach a car battery to it and blow it up, why don't you?
Yeah, I will. Damn it. Corrupted hyper mode, I don't need that right now. I don't need this business right now. God damn.
Zen says, not only am I teaching my class about Samus, but I forgot to tell you that I taught them how to heckle ads on their tablets. I told them that ads are bad, and if you want the commercials to go away, you must say the special magic words, "Silence, brand!"
That's amazing.
Perfect. Hell fucking yeah! Ass!
Choo choo. Where am I going?
Huh, where am I?
Chuzu.
The Chuzu.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the Chozo built trains. They had an industrial revolution.
I can't believe this shit. Do you think I'm gonna let this go?
No!
This is a joke that'll never die, damn it!
It's because it's funny as hell.
It's funny as shit.
The conclusion of a franchise. Yep.
Welcome in, Borumi8563. If your name is pronounced a different way, feel free to correct me. It is the first time I'm seeing it, and I'm always down to being figured out how to be corrected. Did I blunder? Yes. Tell me about it.
Let's get on board Sovereign.
I love that transition so much. Because every time it happens, you know what sound plays in my head?
What?
Old Batman. Samus!
Oh my god. A mod of this game
Bow!
that, like...
Bow!
A mod of this game that replaces, like, all the particle effects with, like, sound effect explosions.
Automatopoeias just like flash up on
Yep.
screen.
Blam!
Biff.
Marty!
Command codes are needed to gain control of the Leviathan.
Cut!
Detected that the abandoned ship Valhalla has not been fully explored.
What are we looking at?
This is the core of a
It
Leviathan.
is possible that it's still...
You know,
Ugh.
those things we blew up at the end of every major boss fight. This is that.
Return
Oh, it looks so different when you're like up close and personal with it.
And you can shoot it. You can also shoot the eyes in here, and it makes the whole thing shake.
Oh. Was that a fucking Back to the Future reference? No, Biff is a commonly used sound effect that they used in old comics.
I said Barney
Sound
right
effect of somebody
afterwards,
getting...
which was.
Oh, you said... Oh, sorry. That part I missed.
It was.
I was
both a Back
so
to the Future
enthralled.
reference. It was a Back to the Future reference and an angry video game nerd reference.
There you go. Sorry, I was just so taken aback by being really uncomfortably up close with this thing.
Yeah. So, you could shoot these eyes, and I think there's actually a Chivo for shooting all of them, like a certain number of times. I can't remember what that number of times is, but, yeah. It's funny. Quick! Back to the back.
Oh my
One of my
god.
One of my favorite bits of 60s Batman media is when they were like promoting their fucking online streaming service, yada yada yada. But they did it by having Batman Beyond, Terry and
Ooh.
Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne calls Terry and is like, Terry, I found a parallel universe where there's another version of me. I've managed to hack in and we can see what's going on. And it's the fucking 60s show. And they're both
Yes!
fun of it so
Yes!
hard. It's like,
Oh my
wait a
god,
minute.
it's great.
Does the Joker have a mustache? Don't be ridiculous. Oh my god.
Why does he have a mustache? Is it painted on?
It's mesmerizing. I also love... I love that they both dig the car, though.
Oh yeah. 100%.
It's like, say whatever you want about how cheesy the 60s Batman show is. That fucking car.
Oh, peak fiction. Like that,
It's so good.
absolutely. Was it based on an actual car or was it fashioned?
I mean, it was based on an actual car, but I don't know what the car was.
Batman 60s car. Let's see. God, the red trim is just infectious to look at.
It's so good.
Like, it
Oh, is
looks
it?
like it belongs in Tron.
Yeah. Oh my god. A Tron version of the car.
Oh. Oh, okay. Based on the 1955 Lincoln Futura concept car.
Ah.
We're learning all sorts of things today.
I have a model of it somewhere around here. Like, one of those little die-cast models, but,
Yeah.
like, they were selling it at work, and I just snapped it up like, hell yeah, give me that shit.
Yoink.
They also had the Batmobile from Arkham Knight, which, funnily enough, the 60s Batmobile was added as DLC, which is also very cool. But also the 1989 Batman Tim Burton film Batmobile. I grabbed that one as well.
Released in 1989, Batman introduced the highly influential, what they refer to as the Keaton Mobile.
I mean, it's a cool car. Where does he
Based
get
on two Chevrolet Impala chassis with a Chevrolet V8 engine.
So that's where he gets those wonderful toys.
Oh, so. I do like that this. Yeah. No, all I'm saying is I'm glad that I found a gallery that's giving me the 411 on like what the car was based off of, and then there are times where just like, yeah, this isn't really based on any kind of car. It's literally they just sort of like threw shit on the concept board. They're like, the worst, it's fine.
It's got 4 wheels and it goes forward. We're good.
Specifically, they're talking about how the 1992 version. It's like it's not really based on anything in particular.
You mean the version of the Batmobile where, like, the sides fall off and it turns into a missile isn't based on anything in particular?
Yeah.
Be ridiculous.
Yeah, and then there was the 1995 Joel Schumacher Batman, which had, like, the big bat wing fin on the top of the car.
Yep. It drove up the wall.
Sure. Then you had 1997's Batman and Robin, which was the final installment of the 89 series. This one taking inspiration from classic roadsters like the Jaguar D-Type.
Are we sure about that?
This car was 30 feet long with an open cockpit.
Well, I mean...
Jesus Christ. That's a bus. That's a bat bus.
Get on the bat bus.
We're going to Gotham High.
Oh no, Batman in high school. That's what the original pitch for Batman Beyond was. Ah!
Oops. Ew.
There's tiny Metroids.
Bat Transportational Services. The BTS.
Look, if Bruce Wayne
So
wanted
that's
to
what they-
build public transit system.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at these.
Yeah. I don't like it.
So those are called Phaaze Ings. Specifically, they are meant to sort of evoke the Ing from Metroid Prime 2. Specifically those little inglets. But you couldn't do this in Prime 2. You just yank them apart with the grapple.
Good lord. So they're made of phase, and they're supposed to represent or have visual connections to the Ing.
Yes.
What do we call them?
Oh! I don't know.
It's like this scene of Gandalf like combing through the records in the history, desperately trying to find the answer.
Sometimes they will hide inside crates as well.
Oh, Jesus. Not the fan of the lunging.
Sneaky little bastards. Wait, I think this
Little
is just
creatures
a room
of
with a
death.
secret. How do I get past this obstacle? Probably be destroyed by an explosive blast. Well,
I think we have more of those. More March question mark of Metroid. Woo!
well, these are
Don't worry
bigger
about it.
hopping Metroids. They got more spikes.
Oh, God.
Okay. I don't want to scan that.
More
I wanna
March! We're still in March!
Hang on, I want to scan one of these guys. Let me scan. Stop scanning.
Stop
that.
it!
Fine. Whatever. Energy tank injected. Die.
Screw it!
900 kills.
Soon it will be May.
In a few hours, the sun will rise.
May the March be with you. Metroid!
Yeah,
That works.
that would have been the better option, but I chose March because fuck you.
I wanted to play Metroid sooner in the year.
It's always time to play Metroid.
Okay, John Malkovich. It's just time to play Metroid.
I love Metroid, except the one with other M in the title.
You mean Metroid Other M? Yes, that one. Every month is a month of Metroid.
If you believe hard enough.
That console's smiling at me. It's Sans. SNAS!
Oh, hey, look, it's a dead space pirate.
Oh. I can't tell which direction he's facing.
Towards heaven.
Well,
Oh.
you heard it straight from Kirby's mouth. Space pirates get to go to heaven.
All space pirates go to heaven.
The lesser known Don Bluth film.
Oh, man.
It's the sequel that nobody asked for, but surprisingly, nobody wanted.
It has been so... Oh, goodness.
Oh, poor guy. Oh my god.
Also, if you look out the window, that is a lot of Metroids out there.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Space Pirate Heaven is a real place that all space pirates go to, theoretically. We cannot prove if they are right. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Ooh.
We gotta blow this thing up with... Oh my god. How do I blow this thing up? There we go.
Ah! Ah! But Mama said my space pirate went to a farm upstate.
That's because your mama wanted to protect you from the truth.
It's not upstate.
No, it's actually downstate. I'm sorry.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, it's Mississippi. Space parts go to Mississippi.
That's unfortunate.
My space pirate went to the butterfly farm.
Yoink.
Ow! Fucking ah!
Mrs. Splitsplitty. No, not the Superman villain.
Mr. Spitalik.
I love the theory that every Mixia Spitlick that has ever been seen in any version of Hey!
God damn it!
Every version of Superman is the same Mixia Spitlick. It's a fun theory to me.
Question: have you watched My Adventures of Superman?
No, I haven't, but I've heard that it's pretty decent. I've also heard
It's
that
actually
it's garbage.
surprisingly good. It's surprisingly good because it's not trying to be like it's not trying to be another version of Superman. They reinvent a lot of aspects, which brings an interesting twist to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that like most people who don't like it just don't like the fact that it's different from what they remember.
It's not your typical Superman. That's absolutely for sure.
I think that's a good thing, because like, well, I mean, like typical Superman, it depending on how it's done can be pretty boring.
Tiresome.
Yeah.
It can be tiresome because it's been done so many times. I liked this because it's a different take on it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's a goober Superman. Yeah, they actually like lean into the idea of like Clark Kent being like, you know, he's a bit of a boob. Like he's like just figuring out his powers still.
That's endearing. My favorite versions of Superman are the ones who make it clear, like, the best way I can describe it is that he's the opposite of Batman. He's not Batman who disguises himself as Bruce Wayne. He's Clark Kent who disguises himself as Superman.
Precisely.
Like, those are the best Superman stories to me.
Yeah.
Like, All-Star
True.
Superman.
Yes, precisely. Absolutely.
All-Star Superman is so good. Superman versus the Elite, also really good.
Yes. Purely for that final fight. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Ridley wearing overalls, straw hat with a little teeny tiny piece of hay out of his mouth, petting ginormous bull like it's a Bond villain.
No, Miss Aran, I expect you to die.
Zen, that's sketch worthy. I think that should be something that is potentially. Oh, Jesus! Not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of the trope of open a door. I won't lie to you. I'm not the biggest fan of the trope of opening a door and a dead person like falls on you.
Yeah. Quite a lot of us, aren't there?
Well, Ice, that means that you've called dibs, so go for it.
Yep.
Also, anybody who wants to draw.
Yeah, absolutely. There
Oh,
are no
shit!
Limits. There are no limits on who can draw what.
Now, why did you shoot that poor man? He was just hanging out.
Hanging out. I'm trying to
Down
shoot
the
this thing.
street! Stop moving! I've never drawn anything in my life. Let me just quickly go over to Mooster Gulra real quick and just see that
Ami, I think you're lying.
20
Call me
less than
crazy.
24 hours ago.
Thou art a deceiver, and thine pantaloons are ablaze.
You lied to me!
Ami, are you telling lies on the internet again?
I've never lied about anything, ever, for comedic effect.
Okay, I believe you. Man, I gotta get those things open somehow so I can put more energy cores in.
Have to rip more batteries.
I got plenty of batteries. Ah, God.
Oh, okay.
But I bet you shooting that very important thing might help. There we go.
Just fawns it, you know. Hey.
Yeah, basically.
How many things in the cosmic universe can be solved simply by giving it a good whack?
More than you'd think. Less than
Yeah.
you'd like.
There's just something about percussive maintenance, absolutely.
Yeah.
If Samus tried to Fonz it, it would explode.
She is very strong.
There's
She
something
is
also
ripped.
very funny. There's something funny and endearing about like having like Samus as a character effectively like waiting for something to happen, and she literally just takes her arm cannon and whacks it, and then it starts working. Machines needs whacks. Some tech, in my experience, can be intimidated into compliance.
Also, yep, fun boss fight.
I mean, what's the point even?
The Metroid Hatcher is a pain in the ass to fight legitimately. I did at least show
Sure.
you how you're supposed to fight it that one time, but then I accidentally sequence broke the game and made it so I could win the very first fight instantly, which you're not supposed to be able to do.
Oops. It's
I
fine.
I accidentally the game. Oh, he's having a snack.
Oh. Well, who are we to get in the way of a good meal?
Well, he was about to make us the next meal, so...
He's a hungry little guy.
You know, it's not the baby, so I don't care.
Any baby can be baby with right mindset.
Here we are.
Just because tiger is full grown does not mean it cannot be kitty.
7H356. That looks important. This model of PDA is commonly used by many Federation personnel. 7H356.
Oh god.
Yep.
Oh, look, I've been impaled.
The Anhur incident. I believe that is the Anhur is the ship from Metroid Prime 2 that crash landed on Ether. I think.
That's just Jammy's inner monologue about himself. I'm imagining him saying this while hanging from the bathroom stall like a purse. He got poked super hard. Oh.
Aha. Well, let's see what we got here. Stoink. And stoink. And stoink. And stoink. Ah. Well, now I know how to fly the Leviathan.
Simon says.
The pirate code has been acquired. That's really more like guidelines.
Damn it, you beat me to it by a microsecond.
A space pirate Leviathan command code. It is likely that this code could allow us to control the Leviathan in orbit above the pirate home world.
We can now watch our favorite movies, whatever.
Wait a minute, we do that anyway!
7, 8, 3, 5, 6.
8756309.
467.3. This will be the last communication of the GFS Valhalla.
Oh.
Our efforts to repel the space pirate herding force have failed. They have successfully removed the primary mounting structure around our stasis tank. It is obvious now that they intend to extract us from the Valhalla. It is vital that the Federation receive this transmission.
Well,
Yeah. How do you like that?
there's
Something happened to the
you know,
sound?
it doesn't. That doesn't paint the most positive outlook for things to come.
What are you talking about? You never heard of a sentient planet before?
Last time I had like, there's only a couple of times where sentient planet has ever crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Hilariously, there are two instances in both Marvel and DC where there is a sentient planet.
Oh,
One's
yeah.
good, one's evil, but the one that's coming to mind that I don't like is the one from Dead Space.
Ah. You know, this whole area of the game is very Dead Space-esque.
Yes, it is, which is making me panic a little. Ah, God, it's gotta fucking get off me!
Which, this came out before Dead Space, I think, didn't it?
I think so. This was 2007?
2007. Yeah, Green Lantern Planet. Which, I love the fact that there is an entire planet that is a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And he's a card in one of the DC deck builders. Which is great.
Fine. I can't believe Dead Space copied off Metroid. The original Dead Space game was 2008.
Ah.
Sweet Lord. What the hell was the name of the Green Lantern planet? Green Lantern Planet. Not
Like
Oa.
mine.
Mogo.
Mogo. That's right. I think there's
It's a
also
whole
Yellow
ass
Lantern
planet. Probably. I'll see. So long as it's not ego.
What I really want to know, what I think we all deserve to know, is... Oh, goodness. Is there a Red Lantern planet? Is there a planet out there that is just that angry? And why is the planet angry?
Now what the hell? Yes, there is a Red Lantern planet.
Ah.
Oh my god. Do you want to know why it's so angry?
Why is this planet angry?
Global warming. the from comicvine.com, Greykill, sentient planet of the Red Lantern Corps that was abused by its populace and trekked a red power ring with its rage and despair. I was joking.
That's amazing.
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm all out of energy cells. Darn.
Although, like, nothing will ever truly rival my favorite, like, just comic book character in general, one of the members who belongs to the Red Lantern Corps. Because it's so absurd.
Dexstar.
Dexstar, baby!
I love Dexstar. Dexstar is even an assist in Injustice 2.
Yes, he is. The whole concept of Dexstar and like his whole backstory and whatnot, it's heartbreaking, but it's also still entirely absurd.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to talk to the guy who came up with this concept. I just want to talk to him. Just want to talk to him. What's going on there, bud? Why did you make a house cat from Earth? A member of the Red Lantern Corps.
Dark humor at its finest.
Yeah. Oh, God. When I heard Dexstar, Think of a kid if of a mix of Mandark and Dexter. Nah. Dexter is a blue cat from the planet Earth that gets abused and almost killed, and his hate and rage against humanity causes a Red Lantern power ring from deep space to come flying to Earth, and he becomes a member of the Red Lantern Corps.
He's basically
I
Atrocitus'
wish-
second in command.
Yes. Good kitty.
Best kitty.
Yeah. Ah, I do remember seeing that ages ago. What? I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
For those who need reference, I'll put an image of Dexter into the Discord so that people can see that I'm not fibbing. This is a real fucking thing that exists in the comics. Here's Dex Star from DC Comics. Oh God. 2 R's in Star. Okay.
Look at him. I wouldn't say he's happy to be here, because Red Lantern. But
Yeah.
he's here.
He, May Borowski. Don't give me that idea, man. No, don't do that. No, wait. Yeah. Some of the powers of the Red Lantern Corps being bound to that of a house cat is also extremely terrifying. Like, for those who are unaware, one of the powers of the Red Lantern Corps is being able to vomit up a viscous fluid made of pure rage that if anybody touches it, they go into a bout of pure insanity based on rage.
Yep. He actually does that to Hal Jordan in Injustice 2.
He does it! It is the dumbest fucking thing ever! It's so dumb.
It's pretty dumb.
He literally he gets approached by Atrocitus and fucking like Atrocitus pukes on Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's just like, I'm so angry. Then Dexter leaps on his back, grabs his face, looks down, just goes, whoa. He falls to his knees and just like, why am I so angry?
This
Because he got puked on by a cat. What did you think was gonna happen?
That's the noise he made. This rage!
A rage. I'd be pissed if someone puked on me.
To the Batmobile! Yes!
Did I download the sound just for that? Yes, I did.
Absolutely. Fantastic. That
Hello,
pirate
Dino.
code.
Who? Downloading. I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading.
I just installed Yuzu.
Oh, shh, don't say that.
We have gained control of the Leviathan. Now we'll be able to open a wormhole and warp to Phaaze. It's time to end this. Once you rendezvous with the fleet, we'll head straight into the belly of the beast. I look forward to fighting alongside you again, Samus. Godspeed.
This is why we like Admiral Day.
Yeah, he's just a cool dude. He's not trying to get in your way. He's not trying to give you commands. He's just like, nah, dude, you're cool. I'm going to fight alongside you when we get there.
Yep. We need this thing to be done so that we can win. You can do it. You're good at doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's time to do what has to be done by you to help the Federation defeat the enemies.
Said Admiral Dane to Samus Aran.
Thanks, not Adam.
Take heed, Samus. Once you join the fleet,
Well, what? No, you didn't finish!
Sorry, I'm going through a tunnel.
Oh!
Break it up. Oh, I dropped my phone. It keeps starting where it left off.
I pause it directly to make sure. Food is fucking shrill.
be sure to prepare yourself.
Who composed this? I'm gonna find out.
Not Jun Sonoy, I
No.
don't think. He was the supervisor, but I don't think he composed that particular track. Might it have been Tomoyo Otani?
The composers are listed as 3 people: Jun Sonoe, Kenichi Tokoi, and Fumi Kumatani.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Well, I know those are like the 3 composers for Sonic Adventure as a whole. They all work on that song, I guess? I don't know.
The only thing I have specifically is just as a whole. I don't
Yeah.
gotta find anything. Let me head on over to blackscreenrecords.com and find could have gotten the soundtrack on vinyl for
Hell yes!
I could have if they had one. And I could have paid 45 euros. Damn. Oh, Gordon.
So this is the point of no return. If you decide to go to Phaaze, you're not coming back. So if you want to do cleanup, now's the time to do it. We're just gonna...
But we've already cleaned up.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah. However, I feel like I am implied to let you know that for 50 euros, you can get the vinyl, blue Sonic vinyl of Sonic Frontiers, the music of Starfall Islands.
Now, I did see that, but I think it's literally just, like, the movements when you're exploring. I don't think they actually had,
yeah.
like... So...
I had a feeling.
I really wanted, like, the cyberspace music and also Undefeatable.
Yeah! Oh,
Admiral Dane is so badass, he can breathe in space! Holy shit!
I'm sure it's fine. He's in a really clean dome.
I don't need oxygen! Fuck you, Mom!
That's okay, honey. You can breathe in space if you want.
Damn right! I like the effect of that portal twisting. It's good.
Yeah, it has a very, like, water going down the drain feel.
Please I'll go down the hole.
Water go down the hole.
Oh no.
Oops!
Oh, you made him angry. Stinking ape!
Cocky little freak!
Sir, on the edge of the battlefield, it's the Star Fox team.
Aw, shit!
Hiya!
All aircraft report.
Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side.
There you go. Well, damn. I recently put the Delta emulator on my phone, and Star Fox 64 was one of the first games I put on there.
Hell yes.
Because I was curious just to see what that felt like, and it feels pretty good.
Well, I don't see what the big deal is.
And I'm sure, yeah, this place looks fine. This place looks fine. Hello? Uh-oh. If you're gonna puke, take off your helmet.
Oh no, Phaaze overload!
Samus? Honey? You good?
Due to critical levels of internal Phaaze corruption, the emergency vent override has been triggered by the PED suit. All acquired energy tanks have been vented to temporarily prevent total corruption. Hypermode weapons no longer require the use of extinguishing an energy tank to use. You are now permanently in hyper mode. Unfortunately, this vent override can no longer be used. Damage, as well as exposure to Phaze's atmosphere, will continue to raise your Phazon level. It's a yellow bar at the top of the HUD. If your Phazon level fills completely, you will die!
You will die. Well then.
So, yeah, it's kinda sort of a timed mission. You can see that the bar at the top of the screen has filled up, it's not all the way gray. So, basically, the number of energy tanks you come into this section of the game is how much time you have. Also, these health pickups, these subtract Phazon now. They're even called, if you scan them, they're called anti-Phazon pickups.
Sure. She phase on my. Samus, honey, are you good? Oh, well, that's a nightmare.
Gross. Nasty. Get off. You'll also notice that using our weapons doesn't really deplete our Phazon quite as effectively as it did.
Being in perma-hyper mode is cool. Yeah, on the outside.
It's
Samus, on the other hand.
It's a fun power trip. Like, for sure. The Ultra Grapple is really, the Hyper Grapple is really the only way to effectively rid yourself of excess Phazon, and fortunately, there are lots of these guys around that'll let you just shoot them up. Just
on the inside, Samus probably screaming.
There's a new pain.
Just like that. The way that it's phrased made it sound like Samus actually has a button in her suit. Now I'm imagining Samus not knowing what the button is. What does this do?
Press the A button. That's the one with the A on it.
I mean, no, that actually would be very confusing because it's kind of like, you know, you don't want to have a Homer Simpson moment. Press any key. Where's the any key?
Ooh, well, this computer hacking is making me thirsty. I think I'll order a tab. Oh, no time for that. The computer's starting. Also, you got these gross things that explode. They explode when they die. They fill up your Phazon a whole lot if they kill you, or if they hit you. Whatever.
Eventually they would.
Yep, I know what words are.
I know how the words function mean.
Oh! Fortunately, like, everything dies very fast. So, like, Metroid's not really a threat. Also, fun detail is that the screw attack is now blue since we're in hyper mode, which is cool.
Ah. Remember, folks, everything dies.
Yep.
Fortunately, everything dies.
Unfortunately. Eh. Ah! Well, we got Phaaze versions of those tangleweeds.
I was about to say, it's like you turn yourself into a plasma ball.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, Emerald, you're right. Because fortunately, everything dies.
Yep.
The way I could have spun that was like, unfortunately, everything here is alive. Fortunately, everything dies.
Yep. So, yeah, Phaaze is a sentient planet that is the source of all Phazon. This planet is thinking. And technically, so is all Phazon everywhere.
That's frightening. Not a fan of the idea of there being a Phazon hive mind. That's an uncomfortable thought.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because that is
God
what Dark
damn
Samus,
it.
That's exactly what Dark Samus's plan is.
Oh, Jesus! Ew!
Oh, we fell into
Oh,
the
not a
Sarlacc
fan
pit.
of that. No. That's giving me some deep sea creature vibes, and I am not here for that.
Oh, I'm sure they drew some inspiration from deep sea creatures for some of this stuff.
It looked just like it's literally like an eel that like has that exact same mouth, and it just like comes out, grabs things, and pulls them into the sand. No. What the yeah. I don't want to play Subnautica. I've seen gameplay snippets. Nuh-uh. Well, like, y'all remember when we watched the Sea Beast? And there's that one scene in particular where, like, it was the two main characters looking deep, like, into the ocean, and it was the giant sea beast, like, looking up at them, and it was just this giant void of deep sea blue, and this just enormous face looking out of the darkness before it slowly shifted down. Yeah, I like how every single person who was in the call when we watched that, everybody just went, "Oh no! Oh no. That makes me uncomfortable." Everybody just was, everybody was just like, "Oh no, thank you." It's a fantastic shot. I will agree, Ice. It's like, you know, I have to love those things. I love those things so much. It's the same reason why when I was replaying Ori and the Will of the Wisps recently, like, it just reaffirmed my statement of, I hate Moldwood because I love Moldwood.
Oh, yeah. Like, good God. Oh! Ew!
Oh, no, thank you. What are you even?
I don't know. But it's drawing us closer. This is like a fucking Zelda Twilight Princess boss or some shit. Jesus.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, no, like... Yeah, I hate Moldwood because I love Moldwood, and I love Moldwood, but I hate Moldwood. It pokes at very particular parts of my brain that give me the good feelings and the bad feelings. I'm very conflicted.
I don't know what to feel, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah. There is an emotion happening, but It's the kind that's telling me to keep going. This is what I imagine people feel like when they watch like horror movies and they really like doing it. I'm not that kind of person, but if you told me it's just like, wake up EBZ, you gotta play Moldwood, I wouldn't be mad about it.
So, this right here.
What the hell? Oh, I don't like that it undulates.
This is this is a baby Leviathan, or at least this is a hatcher for baby Leviathans. That giant ship thing that we used to generate a portal to this place, and also the meteors that were impacting on all the planets. That tiny thing that I'm shooting right now is a baby version of that. We're shooting the baby.
We're shooting a baby.
Yep. It's a Phaaze baby, so it's okay.
Yay, my baby! If you could go back in time and kill baby Leviathan, would you?
Get off.
Hello, Nightmare.
Oh.
Speaking of Twilight Princess, I've been wanting to go play it, actually play it lately. I know that I technically played it as a kid, but I mostly spent 90% of my time running around the opening village harassing chickens.
Well, that's one way to play the game, I guess. The baby Leviathan also has a lot of health. And you are harassed by Metroids through a lot of this.
Yeah. Also, I just noticed that when the Metroid is charging at you, it does a little jig as it comes towards you.
I'm gonna get you.
Like it literally is a ha 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 ha. Here I come, Gordon. Oh. Oh, they just wanted to...
I missed it, but in one of the previous rooms, you can actually find a bunch of, like, Metroid Prime armor shells. Like, huddled up in a corner. Hey.
Hi, bitch!
You wanna be me?
I love that you were looking down.
Oops.
Your shoes untied, huh?
Wait a second.
You lied to me!
Dark Samus fights pretty much the same as she did in Metroid Prime 2 a lot, except now she can create echoes.
But that's the second game!
I know.
What the frick?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh! Oh no!
Also, her barrier thing looks like a million times cooler than it did in the second game. Whoa!
Samus, are you cool? Ooh. And flourish.
That's actually what one of her victory poses is based on in Smash Brothers. Oh, there's 3.
Oh god.
Gotta blow them all up. Hit them with
'Cause
missiles.
it's the third game.
Ugh. Get down. Also, her boss thing got a pretty killer remix, very Tron.
Hell
in some
yeah.
parts.
Yeah. Prepare for trouble and make it double?
Yep. So there is a way to tell which Dark Samus is the real Dark Samus. please stand up. Her visor.
Oh, damn it.
The real Dark Samus has a colored-in visor, whereas the fake Dark Samuses have a black visor.
Huh.
Oh.
Oh.
Dude, bro, get out of here. But defeating her clones, they'll drop pickups. Which, also she laughs.
We're on another planet filled with a living radiation and you're laughing.
Yep.
Mom, she's laughing at me. Ooh. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Also, destroying the pillars will also drop pickups. Whoa!
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh, Lord Jesus of fire.
Then every once in a while she'll T-pose and assert dominance. I don't know how else to describe. I don't know how else to describe that attack.
He's T-posing! Oh.
Gotcha, bitch. Oh no, we're about to fight Ansem.
Oh, God.
Dark Samus repulsed.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh my god, it's Dad Cranium.
Ah. Father
So-
duodenum. Whoa!
You thought you were playing the Metroid Prime games without fighting at least one thing that looks like a mother brain, sort of, kind of, almost.
I mean, it comes with a spine and everything.
Yeah. So, the Aurora unit, it can summon extra echoes of Dark Samus that you can blow up for pickups in case you need them, which can be very handy.
God, huh? Eh.
And if you shoot the tentacles, you can shoot the yellow bits to kind of stun them and
Right.
eventually get an opening to get the casing open, which is a little tricky.
A little bit.
Yep.
Ah. It's so weird how it, like, they managed to make this thing, like, it's still, like, the brain-looking thing, computer doohickey, but, like, it looks different because they've recontextualized what the face is.
Yeah.
Oh, ugh. That's good design.
Gotta rip it open
The
and
brain,
light it up.
the brain.
Yep. The bran.
The bran. Raisin bran.
Crackling oat bran.
God, when was the last time you had crackling oat bran?
Too long ago, because I actually really like crackling oat bran.
God.
Like, it's not really a thing that I eat as cereal, but rather as just a snack. Like, I just
No,
pour a
yeah,
bunch
you
of
put it in a baggie and you take it with you.
Yep. I just barehand
This is
that
the-
shit.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that you have when you're like hiking or like going camping,
Yeah.
because that shit will keep.
And it's tasty.
Yeah.
Fortunately, destroying the tentacles that open up its vulnerabilities also drops pickups. So if you're not playing on hyper mode, you're not really in any danger of losing during this fight unless you, like, get hit a lot.
Ah! Oh!
Also, yeah, it makes noises and goes ow every time you shoot it. And it laughs at you. Ah!
But Kirby, you are in hyper mode.
I'm very hyper mode. Ah, whoa.
Ouchie. Yeah. Oh my god.
Whoa!
Ow! This boss would stress me the fuck out.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like you're on like a time limit instead of a health bar. It's weird.
Yeah. That's a really fun way though of like adding intrigue and stakes to the mix.
Yeah.
Cause like didn't I joke about that like during round 1 about how I thought that would be an interesting mechanic for them to do? Like you have to use your gun in order to like dispel the Phazon from your body.
Yeah.
Good lord. Oh, you laughing at me?
I think I even said something like, "Oh, just you wait" or something like that.
Oh god.
Whoa! It's firing mortars.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Jesus.
So, you can imagine, if you come into this boss fight with, like, only a couple energy tanks, it is very difficult. Doing a low percent run of this game. Kind of hard.
Little tricky, little tricky.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I do think the echoes created by the Aurora unit look very cool, though. Because they got, like, the funky outline thing going on. Come on, you bastard! You're going down one way or another.
Ooh. God, no, no.
So close.
Whoa.
Ah, more echoes. Come on. Stop rolling around at the speed of sound. Thank you. Oh.
Pinball. Hey,
I think if you can shoot that eye that pops out, like, really quick, you could actually, like, stun him very fast. Nah, it's not over.
Damn.
Kind of reminds me of the Quadraxis a little bit.
Oh, I can see that. It's
But also
God.
kind of Andros, because you got to shoot it in the cerebellum.
Ah! So no head.
Jesus. Oh, sometimes he pops out a dangly bit that you can shoot a bunch and stun him.
Shoot him in the bits.
Look, man, whenever an enemy has bits, you gotta shoot him in them.
Shoot him in the bit.
him in the jimmy!
Grab his bits and twist it! Twist that bit! The old bit twist!
Twist that bit!
Twist that bit! Twist that bit! Come on, baby! Every know that's mine!
Every once in a while, he Beyblades it up, but now he's dead.
Oh! 3-1-3.
3! We did it. We beat Halo.
Oh!
Oh!
Ow!
Huh. Bleh.
Oh, my suit.
Oh, dang, I look so cool.
Damn it. Oh. Ow. You know, it's space. I'm sure that's how that works.
Yeah.
Ship fall down.
Stable energy spikes in multiple locations on the planet. It's a chain reaction. It's accelerating. The planet's going to explode.
Order the fleet to disengage and prepare to retreat. Activate the Leviathan's warp field. Get us out of here.
Samus blew up the planet. We're done. Let's leave.
We gotta go, man. Sir, shouldn't we wait to see if she's okay? Ah, she's fine.
It's Samus.
The bitch probably beat us there. Ooh.
Delete.
Damage reports coming in. We've lost 37% of the fleet. Half of the surviving ships are reporting heavy casualties.
Sir, we've confirmed the wormhole has disappeared. All the Leviathans are gone. The crisis is over.
What about Samus?
Negative, sir. No contact.
At least somebody cares.
Yeah!
There it is. I win.
I won!
Doom doom.
Oh, that was a trippy effect. The stars are in a bowl.
Oh,
Hooray!
Metroid Prime 3.
Samus is now cancer-free.
We did it. We blew up space cancer.
Space cancer! We did it!
So yeah, it's an interesting experience, to say
I'll
the
say.
least. Especially in comparison to the first two Metroid Prime. Like, this one is...
speedruns.
Yeah. This one is, like, very obviously, like, way more railroaded.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which... Yeah, it makes sense because they were trying to cap off, like, the story arc of the series.
Uh-huh.
So I try not to hold that against this game.
Right.
But in terms of like where it stands in the Prime trilogy, it is the weakest game.
Yeah, it's. I can feel there being an issue where like you can tell that they wanted to like finish it off in a trilogy sort of sense and whatnot. And I do have to applaud them for doing certain things. Like there were really interesting concepts and ideas. I'm of the mentality that thinks that the voice acting aspect that they brought in, wasn't terrible.
I think it helps that they went out of house for the voice acting. I think they did act because freaking Vegeta is in the game.
Yes.
So I think they went with like Okatron. Oh.
Samus Aran's arduous fight against Phaaze has ended. However, in the vast regions of space, this victory is just a twinkle of a star, spreading the light of hope through the darkness.
Thanks, Aurora Unit.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
I appreciate it.
I do like some of the ideas that they did with this, like visiting multiple planets and expanding the lore to like describing like how these other cultures, other planets, other people, like it's interesting. I love reading like the history of like Brio and also the history of Elysia and like seeing the space pirates go, oh fuck.
Oh
like,
shit!
Dark Samus is brainwashing us, god damn it, son of a bitch. But they had a lot of ideas that they wanted to do. Like they wanted to actually have Samus do bounties. Like in one of their early designs for this game. They wanted you to be able to actually do bounties, because like you're traveling to different planets and stuff like that. You actually go chase down a bounty. Nintendo said no, that's horrible. Because bounty hunters, like actual people who hunt bounties, are seen in a very different cultural light around the world. America is actually one of the few places where they are, where you can legally be a bounty hunter. Apparently.
Precisely. Yes.
So yeah, when Retro were like, yeah, you can hunt down, you can do mercenary work in this game, basically. Nintendo were like, no, mercenaries are bad and evil. Don't do that.
Yeah, like, you realize that it was a situation where, like, culture was definitely influenced in terms of that decision being made.
Yeah. It's just, you can kind of tell they wanted to do a lot more. Because
you can tell.
Because the whole, like, visiting other planets and stuff like that. But I think this game kind of got rushed in order to really push the Wii. Especially as, like, the killer app for the Wii. Like, this is how you can do a first-person shooter on the Wii and have it be really good. And, like, it's good, don't get me wrong.
It is good. Yeah.
But, you know,
but you
some
can...
elements... Yeah.
There were parts... Makes sense, but I want to see Samus kill.
We all want to see Samus kill.
Oh.
Well, there she is. Look at her. 70% complete. Hyper mode difficulty unlocked.
Oh, God.
I can't remember. Is 70% enough to get one of the secret endings? There's 2 secret endings in this game. Nope, it was not enough. So there's 2 secret endings, just like every other Prime game. In the first secret ending, Samus goes back to Skytown. She's just hanging out, remembering the other bounty hunters, and then you get to see her in the Zero Suit for a little bit.
Ah.
That's it. The second secret ending is the one that got everybody in an uproar. They're like, oh my god, this other secret ending. Because Samus, like, flies off into space, but she is followed by another spaceship that looks a lot like, but isn't exactly, the Delano 7, which the Delano 7 was the spaceship of one of the bounty hunters from Metroid Prime Hunters, specifically Sylux, the one bounty hunter who has a mysterious past
Uh-huh.
and hates the Federation and also hates Samus because she works for the Federation.
Damn.
Yeah.
Huh. I see.
So we just haven't seen where that leads. So Metroid Prime 4. Yeah.
Oh.
So you may notice I have a lot of tokens that I
You
got
had Smidge?
I got very legitimately, very extremely legitimately.
Right. I don't know why you're saying anything different.
Yeah, why would I? Very legit.
So legit that when you purchase stuff, the price doesn't even go down.
It's a overflow error.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a little grinding off camera. Exactly. I grinded friends off camera. Wait. Hang on a second.
One more time. Oh yeah. No. Wait. No.
Yeah, you can get these little dioramas like, hey, look at that. Samus fighting Ridley, falling down the shaft. That's fucking cool.
Rewind the tape. Zoom in.
I don't know if I can zoom in. I don't think I have buttons assigned to that.
Damn it!
Do I? No, I don't have buttons assigned to that. Sorry.
God damn it!
I can pan.
Fuck. All right, Peter. I love dioramas.
Yeah, the dioramas are cool. Here's another one. This is weird. Okay, so these are all the Reptilicae. These are all the Reptilicae, the beings of Brio. They are presenting a gift to Samus, who is sitting on a throne.
What?
I don't know.
What? I
wait,
see.
Yeah, I can't zoom in. Here we go.
There
I
we
can't
go.
zoom in. Yeah. This is the hyper mode button. That's right. Metroid Prime Switch. Yeah.
Damn it.
This is just really goofy. And look at that guy. He's praying to Samus. This guy is like genuflect. Like, this is
Going all the way down.
yeah. The golem in the back is even going like, yeah, baby.
I'm covered in fungus, and even Samus is sitting.
It's fun. Here we are fighting the giant guy, and we turned into a morph ball to zip around. This is pretty cool. I like this one, especially because you get the fucking cyberbike trail.
The light trail.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you're a light bike now.
Oh my god. That would be such a good power-up for Prime 4. Oh, that would be so cool.
Yes.
Oh, here's another good one. I like this one. Samus just leaping off the charred remains of another robot to fight another robot.
That's poster worthy.
Yeah. Samus just hanging out with Gore. Hi, Gore. Oh! And, because it takes place on Skytown, this is interesting. I actually never really paid attention to this. These are Chozo ghosts. They don't appear in this game. They're from the first Metroid Prime.
Huh.
I totally forgot those guys were there. That's really cool.
Well, okay then.
And then the last diorama. Oh, Samus fighting Dad Brain and
Yeah.
the
Copies.
kids.
It is funny how small these are. I understand the
Yeah.
dioramas, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, is that as far as you can zoom in?
Yeah, that's as far as I can zoom in.
That's so ridiculous.
I would love to have all of these on my shelf.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a scrapped enemy for this game anyway. I don't know. They might have been planned to appear in this game at one point, because Skytown was a Chozo colony at one point.
Ah.
Yeah. You could also purchase a lot of, but not all of the music in the game. Like, you can't buy the Run Disc Battle theme, which sucks, because it's like the best song, that's the best song in the game. But you can you can purchase Gandreda.
Okay, so here you go. Luna, we could at least get you slightly translucent girlfriend.
Yeah. Or at least the music that represents her essence.
Right.
But yeah, I like Metroid Prime 3. I don't think it's the trash fire that some people claim it is. Like,
I don't think so.
It isn't Metroid Other M.
True.
So come on.
This
guys.
game has a lot of this game has a lot of merit to it.
Yeah. Like,
versus Other M, which Metroid Other M stirred the pot by taking all the ingredients out and leaving just the film and then putting a completely different soup in it.
yeah. This is an actual game for starters.
Yeah, that's true. And an actual continuation. A proper continuation. Not a, like, weird offshot continuation that they're trying to do.
Did you want to know who Adam was? Here's the game that still doesn't really tell you who Adam was. Oh.
Thanks!
Okay. It just tells you how he got dead.
Damn. Adam is dead.
Samus just says whatever. Did he have a brother that Samus fucked before he blew up? Yeah. They never clarify if Samus and Adam's brother Ian got together. There's the photo on Adam's desk that explodes.
Right.
Of them together.
Listen, man. We cannot confirm nor deny that Samus and Adam's brother are doing the space doinking. We don't know.
We cannot confirm or deny. We don't know if they got in their 0-0 suits together.
A Super Zero suit. We're going into hyper mode.
Oh god.
Jesus Christ. The Zero suit says during sex.
Oh my god.
Armor on, armor on. Dear God.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Like I said, I made up for Samus and Gandreda not being able to get together in this game by having Samus Aran Shepard and Dr. Liara Tassoni. They're getting together in my Mass Effect playthrough. It's all good.
It's close enough.
Blue is purple adjacent.
and she's about to be adjacent, if you know what I mean.
haven't got to that part yet.
Sam has killed the man, and he went out doing what he loved. Samus Aran.
Oh god. Oh, Adam's brother exploded by trying to keep a Boeing 747 in space from exploding.
Yeah, he did.
It exploded too hard. The 5,000-mile high club.
We've been there. We've all been there, man. Like those skeletons in Futurama. Thumbs up.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
10,000% would kill a man. Oh my god. Just the concept is insane.
Oh god.
We're corrupted.
Why is everyone on the internet so horny? Must be incredibly brave to climb mountains. You must be this tall to ride. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Not Space Mountain.
What a woman.
Anthony's the only one taller than me. Remember me? I do. That's the one good thing from Metroid Other M. It gave us Anthony.
It gave us Anthony.
Who is an actual decent character. He's like the only one who's competently written. He sees Samus and is like, oh, my chances at survival just shot way up.
No, guys, liven up. Look who's here.
Very tired and asexual, not entirely processing all the sex jokes. That's okay.
You're so valid on me.
I hate all of them too.
Yeah, it's also like Anthony's the only person I can imagine in this entire franchise where he's just like, oh shit, and he like runs over to Samus and does that whole like wind up, like you son of a bitch, like grabs hands, squeezes, and like muscles pop out.
Space Ace moments. Hey, that's a different video game.
Space sexual. Oh, honey. Oh.
Space Ace is a different video game that was also animated by Don Bluth, but
yeah, it's coming around.
Not as well known.
Not as well known as Dragon's Lair, yeah.
But it did get a reference in Samurai Jack, which is amazing. I love
Happy Lesbian Awareness Week.
I just love the fact that in all of Samurai Jack, there is a single stupid-ass joke based on Dragon's Lair and Space Age, and it's the dumbest fucking joke.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry, I'm dying at the thought of Samus in full aura asking your boyfriend if you brought protection.
Other M can be redeemed by nothing with a way made Samus into a sub.
Shit. Oh, talk about asking for authorization.
Jesus Christ. Deadpan in her helmet. Have you brought protection?
Have you brought protection? What I'm doing is gonna be Shut the fucking. Also, hi, Mr. Dragoness.
Oh,
we're losing our mind.
We are going slightly insane. Power armor on or off, though. Oh.
Shut up! I can't hear the set stays on!
Or mind, singular. Sex joke processed.
Oh, God.
If Samus cusses, is it in Shazoan? Honestly,
I would love that.
Like I said, next year for March of Metroid, we're definitely playing Metroid Dread. So
hell yes.
So we can get all that good Chozoan.
I just love the idea that like when she talks to herself, it's in Chozoan.
I mean, yeah, she was raised in it.
Like, and it's those small little things, right? It's like people who are bilingual and they just kind of like shift intermittently to and from like different languages because like they can't think of what the word is.
Oh my god, I just had the hilarious image of like Grey Voice like shouting at Samus, Samus, stop speaking in Shazanglish.
Shazanglish. Oh my god.
You can't speak two languages at the same time. Pick one or the other. Pick a lane.
Like the idea that if Chozos get like overly flustered, they divulge into making clucking and cawing sounds. So Samus is just like Samus just like bites her thumb at him and whatnot. She's like Ariga bakumo, and like he's like, you get back here right now. No. And
like
like
speaking
it pans over to another. Yeah, it's like another. You pans over to another chosen. He's just like, that was remarkably fluent. She's finally figuring out how to use the upper register. That's good. That's good. That's very good. She's told me that she effectively told me to shove my helmet up my ass. I don't care if it's fluent.
She could have chosen a better word to learn that with, but I'm glad she's learning all the same.
Technically speaking, the pre-guttural resonance that she had was pristine. You have to give her credit in that regard.
It's progress.
Chozos with their feathers ruffled, making aggravated owl and chicken noises. Her first Chozoan word was fuck.
Now, Samus, I know that
No,
it's technically the most versatile word that we have, but
it's
just because you could use it as a verb, an adverb, an adjective, a noun, a pronoun, and a tangling participle does not mean that you should.
doesn't mean that it works in every case. But you literally just described that it works in every case. Yeah, but like,
not when we're having Old Bird over for dinner, Samus.
Like, we're having the Grand Chancellor over. He's wondering about your progress. Could you not tell him, like, could you not continue to try to tell people that you're really fucking happy to see them?
Look, Ravenbeak, don't say it in front of Ravenbeak, for the love of God. Or whatever we believe in.
Like, or fuck it, why would Ravenbeak be the kind of person where it's just like, you know, Samus says fuck and he just looks down, he just goes, I'm making a note of that. Because he's either like, ooh, you're gonna pay for that later, or he's the guy who's like, rebelling. That's my girl.
I like that.
Nice. Now Ravenbeak taught her.
Now, Samus, get a load of this. Here are the 13 bad words that you should always say in front of Grey Voice every chance you get. Don't you mean there are only 7? Not if you're a Chozo. Mock it.
Yeah, if you are part of Malkin, there are 20.
He gave her the Book of Swears.
The Book of Cuss.
Alright. Here are the first 7. Shit, piss, fuck.
Great voice runs in like doesn't cover her ears, just covers her entire body. What are you doing?
I'm teaching her the 7 words you can't say on space television.
Exactly! What are you doing? Are you a psychopath? Don't answer that. Do not answer that. As he's like waddling away with Samus. Like,
Samus will give you the bird.
I still love that somebody did an edit of that, of like, it was the end of Prime 2, where she's like walking into the wall and she's flipping her off as she walks away.
The classic response to Metroid Other M.
Just fuck you, walks away.
Yep. Can't wait for the day Overdrive regrets swims.
Oh, cause like that's the best part about having a kid, dude. They're sponges. Yeah. If they say shit, it's because they heard it from somebody, and it's most likely you.
Tiny little parrots, all of them.
Samus makes a parrot scream in the garden and just go like, Samus, not in front of Grandma!
Samus's home life. I'm glad she had a happy home life. With her
can
family.
confirm with 2 nieces. Yeah. Also, this is gonna. I apologize if this sounds weird, but it like just dawned on me because Zin said grandma. The Chozo that I can think of off the top of my head are all male.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, I don't remember. I feel like some of the text that you can read throughout the Prime series does hint at the existence of female Chozo. Actually, no. Specifically, there is a lore entry in Prime 3 that mentions like one of the Chozo stargazers actually uses female pronouns.
The Chozo
So-
Searcher.
Yes.
So far
yeah.
is the only identified Chozo to be confirmed as female. In parentheses, discounting Samus Aran, who is a human Chozo hybrid.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wikitroid.
Yeah.
I hadn't put two and two together on that one.
But yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, all the Chozo that we have seen on camera are all male Chozo, so.
Interesting.
Even Grey Voice and Old Bird, who lived together. So Samus had 3 daddies, I guess?
Wow.
4? If you count her biological dad, I guess.
Good. Do we count them? How old was she when the trauma happened?
Old enough to remember.
Damn.
Specifically, I think she was like, I don't know. She was like old enough to like speak and make words. Like in the little scene in Zero Mission where like old Bird like takes her to like the Chozo Temple on Zebes. Like she looks like she's about like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 ish.
Okay. So very possible that it's still. But again, it's one of those things where like that's territory that would be interesting for them to actually like dive into if they ever chose to. If they ever chose to. Sorry,
Honestly,
it just clicked in my head after I said it.
Honestly, I think the Metroid series has room for like spin-offs that don't necessarily focus on Samus. I know we technically got one with Metroid Prime Federation Force, but I mean that happened when the series was in a bad place. And even though Federation Force isn't a bad game, it is a game with very bad timing.
Yes, 1,000%. It is unfortunately a game. It also is a game, unfortunately, that realistically speaking, it was a game that was always going to have a rough go of things because people just, I don't know how else to describe it other than like people just chose not to like it, if that makes sense. Like they were forcing themselves not to enjoy it when like, it's not a terrible game. It's just weird that it does. I do agree with what one person once said, which was it felt like it was a completely different game that got a Metroid skin.
Yes. It definitely feels, because it was developed by Next Level Games, who previously did Mario Strikers and Luigi's Mansion 2. So it definitely has that, like, especially with like the different art style, it definitely feels like Next Level Games was working on like a cooperative first-person shooter for the 3DS, and then, you know, Shigeru Miyamoto comes walking around the Canada one day, and he's like, "Hey, should put some Metroid in this." And then they were like,
"Hello,
fine. You purchased a plurality in our company, so we can't say no."
As I guess we could do that.
But yeah, like it is really just a victim of bad timing because it came out during that drought that like immediately followed Metroid Other M, and it was really, really not what people wanted. Fortunately, we later got Metroid Samus Returns, the remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS, which also had a special new 3DS that came with it that I got, and it's great. And that was a really good game. So good that, like, the developers were allowed to make their own original 2D Metroid game. And we got Metroid Dread. Finally.
Finally.
After 20 years.
We got there eventually. Yeah, we got there in time.
Yep. But, yeah, I feel like if people went back to give Federation Force another try, or at least a try, they would find something that, like, maybe it's not fantastic, but it's at least pretty good.
Huh.
It's, well, I mean, online doesn't work anymore, ha ha ha, but there are ways around this.
There are ways of making it better. So, Luna, what did you post in memes? What is this?
Oh boy, I better take a look at this. See what's going on. Oh, I'm guessing everybody can hear what I'm watching now.
No, I was watching it on my end.
Yeah, but I started watching it on my end, and like the desktop audio thing is still on, so everybody could hear me watching it. Strike! That's perfect.
Holy shit.
It's also great because there is bowling in Prime 3. So, with Prime 4 on the horizon, I guess we should talk about, like, well, supposedly Prime 4 is on the horizon. We hope Prime 4 is on the horizon.
That's the hope.
We got some time. I kind of want to talk about what I would like to see in Prime 4. Because, A, we kind of had a pretty good preview of what we can expect, like, aesthetically with Metroid Prime Remastered. And that is... like,
yes.
Prime Remastered is such incredible technical feat on the Switch. Like, it is, like, even though they quote-unquote have to cheat by running at a sub-native resolution, it's not by much, and even on, especially on an OLED screen, it looks amazing. Like, oh my god. The number of options is good, like, putting the twin-stick control scheme, retrofitting that into the original Metroid Prime, which wasn't designed around that control scheme. It actually works pretty dang well. It's good. So for Prime 4, like, I'm expecting them to kind of go back to basics. We're going to get something that's essentially just Metroid Prime again, which I can understand. I can understand why they do that, because it's been so long since we got, like, a Metroid Prime game, and I kind of want to get back into the swing of it, especially since, like, Retro Studios has worked on the Donkey Kong games, and a lot of the staff that worked on the original Metroid Primes is gone. But at the same time, I would really like to see them, like, kind of just bring back that GameCube experimentation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the GameCube had, like, so many, like, weird games, and, like, I kind of like that we're sort of getting that back again. So, like, for Prime 4, I want to see them branch out, do something like, maybe, like, create, like, an overworld where you don't have to shoot doors to transition between rooms, or there isn't, like, room transitions, like, open world Metroid. I think that would be interesting to see, like, an actual big open world. Like, not, like, big, but, like, something a little more seamless.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Something like the Bounty Hunter idea. That, I would like to see, like, Samus quote-unquote, doing her job.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how they get around the issues that were that plagued the original concept of being able to do bounties.
Yeah.
Like, what's the way that they get around that feeling that they have about that? Because, like,
I'd like to see them incorporate like more stuff with, like, the grapple and the morph ball too. Like, we mentioned having, like, a light bar power up, kind of like the light bikes from Tron. I think that would be a cool idea for, like, a morph ball power up. That would be a really neat idea to do that in combat, and, like, allow the player to transition between morph ball and shooting more quickly and easily in combat. Like, that thing in the intro to Metroid Prime Hunters where Samus turns into a morph ball and then boosts and then does like a boost ball uppercut into a space pirate to fly up in the sky and then drop down on them. Like, that's fucking cool. Like, I would love to be able to see that, and like it would sort of be able to like integrate the combat that they tried to do with Metroid Other M, but they kind of got limited because the control scheme was an NES controller, basically. Yeah, it'd be cool to like, oh hey, I can grapple a dude and then like yank in a specific direction to like throw him into another dude, maybe. Like, that would be cool.
Interesting. Trying to think like if I have anything to weigh in on, because while I now have the ability to say that I have now experienced the entire Prime trilogy.
Yeah.
I guess the main thing is that, you know, now that the trilogy has come to its conclusion, my thing, because of course it's the thing I'm thinking about, is how are they going to take the narrative?
Because the title protagonist is definitively dead. Title antagonist, rather.
Yeah. So it's trying to think like because do you want to honest to God know what my biggest worry is? Hilariously,
yeah.
I don't want them doing to Metroid Prime 4 what happened to Halo 4. Where all of a sudden they just introduce this other super big bad alien race. It's like, we've been here the whole time. It's like, there's literally no proof of that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The precursors of the precursors who are even more evil and
precursory.
Yeah. Even
We've
more
been pulling the string. We've been pulling the strings this whole time. It's like, no, you haven't. You've been dormant.
I don't.
You literally got activated when I got here. What do you mean?
I would like to see that. Yeah, I'd like to see them take the narrative. I'd like to see where they go with like Silex and maybe the other hunters. Like,
right, if they do bring the hunters back, yeah.
Yeah, which it kind of seems like they were aiming to do that with Silex, because we see a shit that looks like Silex is following Samus. I would also, if Silex survived the events of Metroid Prime Hunters, then surely the other hunters survived, and I'd like to see at least two of the other hunters not be antagonizing Samus, specifically Spire, whose motivation in the game was, I want to find out what happened to my dead race that I am the last member of. So I could see Spire being an ally of Samus's, and Noxus, whose motivation was, I want to destroy the ultimate weapon before anybody else can get the ultimate weapon, because nobody can be trusted with the ultimate weapon. That's another person who I could see being an ally to Samus.
And to figure out what happened to Sora.
Yes.
Noxus! Wait, what? The fact that we both went for it, fucking Jesus. Cause like, when you have an overarching antagonistic force that goes from entry to entry, that's where things become really interesting once you get rid of that aspect. Because like, you compare what happens with the Prime series compared to what happens with the mainline Metroid series, where like it's evolutions of like different things that do like they come back in different ways, but they don't necessarily like take center stage away from like what the actual big bad is. Specifically, I'm thinking of Dread, where it's just like, and there's Kraid. It's like, oh, okay, hi, Kraid.
Also, by the time of Metroid Dread, especially Metroid Fusion, Samus is herself the Metroid.
Yes, and like that conceptually is an interesting concept that whatever happens beyond Dread, I genuinely hope that they explore more of that concept. And I've voiced my ideas as to what I think would be really neat ideas to do.
Yeah.
But with Prime specifically, it's kind of interesting because Corruption kind of bookended it in terms of it
Gross.
being like the
Yeah.
overarching antagonistic force. So
The Phaaze
now
saga.
what? Yeah. So what? Yeah. What happens beyond this?
The Dark Seeker saga.
Fuck, I was literally about to say, is fucking Xehanort going to show up? We're gonna have to worry about Samus getting Norded. Like, goddamn.
Samus got Norded.
God damn it! Shit.
I mean, she almost gets Norded in this game, I guess. Think about it.
She effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
She gets she got Xehanorted, but like she doesn't necessarily commit to the bit.
Yeah. She learns to use the darkness and the light. She's Riku. Oh my god!
Oh, afforded. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yeah.
Corruption. Afforded.
Rebuilding.
Samus, was that you?
Society. I suppose that is the other thing. Chronologically, where would Metroid Prime 4 take place? You know, because the entire Metroid Prime sub-series so far takes place between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2. And it kind of has to, because Metroid 1 introduces the Metroids. Metroid 2 is all about Samus doing a genocide on the Metroids.
Yeah.
So in order for there to be Metroids in these Metroid games, they kind of need to take place between two very defined points in the timeline that are also, until Prime came out, the earliest points in the timeline.
Right.
There's only
could
so
they
far you
theoretically
can stretch that.
Could they theoretically place Prime 4 before Super Metroid?
They could. It's difficult to say, because Samus takes the baby Metroid basically almost straight from SR388 to Ceres Station in Super. And then after Samus leaves Ceres Station, almost immediately it gets attacked by space pirates. Yeah. So if Prime 4 takes place before Super Metroid, but after Metroid 2, the baby Metroid would be hanging out on Samus's ship the whole time.
And that's I'm very I'd be very worried about doing that plotline though, because I'm the kind of person that kind of is I always worry when people will take an established storyline and they'll just inject another plotline that is supposed to happen between like parts 2 and 3, and it's like this goes back to the problem I always have with like prequel stories, which is depending on who you do, like what story you do this with, you have to realize that you're working within a very specific parameter. Like Samus and the Baby Metroid could have a whole ass adventure, but you know how that story has to end. It still has to end with Samus bringing the Baby Metroid to that area, which then it will be kidnapped. Like that has to happen. Like, which has always been a question that I've always wondered. I always thought the Prime series was considered like a different, like branching plot line, like or like a different timeline of events.
It's not very clear. Like there are conflicting reports from the source, as it were, Nintendo, where like at one point it was kind of considered non-canon parallel universe. At another point, it was considered canon just between Prime 1 and 2. I feel like the general consensus is that if the Prime series is canon, it takes place between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2. Now, Red raised an interesting thing. I think it would be interesting if Prime 4 did take place after Dread. Because then we're still going forward, and we also have a lot of room to work with. We don't have to worry about, well, where's this fit in? We can just say, it just takes place after Dread. Now, would it necessarily, like, go into, like, Samus getting her Metroid powers or whatever like that? Maybe, maybe not. But, at the very least, we'd be able to say, here it is. It can just be its own thing, and you don't have to worry about where it fits in, because it's just at the end.
So,
I would like that. Also because the dread suit looks cool.
Hilariously, I know that Luna said this in jest, but it's kind of like what happened with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's at the end of the timeline.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
where? At the end.
At the end.
Also looks
there are
at
three.
yeah, fucking. Well, now they come back together again. Also looks at Zelda Breath of the Wild Hyrule Warriors. Listen, dude, don't make me rant about Age of Calamity. I don't want to do this. I'll scream. Like, because here's the other worry that I have with placing Prime 4 after Dread.
Mm-hmm.
At what point that then begs the question of, like, okay, if it happens after Dread, then what does that mean for Prime or for Metroid 6?
That is true. So
I think you worry about there being you muddy up the direction in which the story of the mainline series moves forward, and then how the Prime series is like kind of like serpentining back and forward between being like, is it canonical or is it supposed to be treated as its own thing?
I think a good place to put Prime 4 would be between Super and Fusion, because yes, Metroids are extinct at that point, but it's totally unclear how much time actually passes between Super and Fusion.
Right.
Like, enough time has to have passed since Metroid 2 that, like, the X have just completely taken over SR388 by the time Samus visits it in Metroid Fusion. But it's also established in Metroid Dread that doesn't take very long to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, just because the game is, like, called Metroid, it doesn't mean there have to be Metroids in it. Like, Prime Hunters didn't have a single Metroid in that game. And also, Metroid in the Chozo language just means Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. Like, there are ways that you can spin this and allow it to still, like, it's Metroid is the series. Like, yes, it is bound to creatures and entities that exist within the franchise, but you can still have the title of something be one thing, even if it doesn't feature the titular character. I'm looking at you, fucking Bourne Legacy. That movie didn't even have Bourne.
I mean, Prime 4 is already going in that direction, because it's going to be a Metroid Prime game without the Metroid Prime in it, which, again, we also got Prime Hunters, but, like, the Metroid Prime shows up in all three games of the trilogy, because Metroid Prime mutated into Dark Samus. So, I mean, we already have a game series it's only called Metroid Prime because it's a first-person Metroid game. So the title title's already lost its significance, as far as I'm concerned.
It has dual meaning. Like,
yeah,
realistically speaking, like, I will admit that it is kind of confusing when you think about it in hindsight, that you have one series that's called Metroid Prime, but then you have the Metroid series, and the one that doesn't have the Prime denomination is actually the mainline one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, a prime in calculus represents a derivative.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Also, I need to just answer this question real quick. We'd have to watch the movie to find out, to answer Zin's question of did Tron Legacy have Tron? It's like, I can't answer that question out loud.
But,
well, I don't like calculus. Checkmate.
Actually, in the Japanese version of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, instead of, like, the epsilon symbol for Echo Fighters, it is actually a prime symbol. So, Dark Samus is fighter for Prime.
I don't know how you could do this, but you know what my thought is?
Mm-hmm.
What if you had Metroid Prime 4 take place before Dread, like it's in between, because it goes Fusion and then Dread, right?
Yeah, Fusion and then Dread, and there's also an unspecified time between, enough for Samus's biological components of her suit to like change shape and heal, sort of, as it were.
How cool would it be? And again, this entirely relies on the idea of like the Prime series being like they happen in tandem to the canon series. How fun would it be if Prime 4 takes place in that time frame between Fusion and Dread? Throughout the course of that series, it's about Samus's suit changing, adapting, and healing itself. And you eventually, when the game ends, it becomes the version of the power suit that we see at the beginning of Dread, like the actual like orange and white suit.
Because, like, I'll be totally honest, I love the Fusion suit and the Dread suit, both the designs. Like the cool blue,
absolutely.
The cool blue and the sleek look are very cool, and they also give Samus a very different energy that it feels like other M tried to get with her like zipping around like real quick and getting into like close quarters combat. I feel like that sort of energy fits the Fusion suit design a lot more than it does like Samus's giant shoulders design.
It goes into the idea of nimbleness and dexterity being attributed to that which is organic. Like, so having that suit that's like the reason why she's like so much more like flippy and mobile and able to do all these things is because her suit is literally adapting itself to do that based on her physique.
I mean, Metroid Fusion is the first Metroid game where Samus is able to like climb ladders, do monkey bars, and like hang from ledges. But it's also the only game where she's able to do it completely unassisted. In Metroid Zero Mission, you need to find an upgrade in order to hang from ledges, and in Metroid Prime 3, you need to use these grab spots, which, if you scan them, they specifically say they fire a magnetic pulse through Samus's suit that lets her pull herself up. Because otherwise her suit's way too heavy. So, like, I would, like, the Fusion suit is just, like, a cool design, but also, like, for that, like, kind of, like, faster, more frenetic, like, combat that I would like to see, I feel like it fits better as well. Because, like, again, like, it just fits more because she could, like, move around faster.
Yeah, like, there's ways that you can take this and evolve this. Because here's the deal. Like, because it's an unspecified amount of time between Fusion and Dread, it means that you're able to do a side story in the form of a Prime, variant.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily take away anything. Now, again, you still would run into the issue of like, doing a story that takes place before another entry means that you kind of already know what the outcome is. But the thing is, here's the thing that I think is the most important aspect. This is exactly a conversation I've had previously in terms of understanding this one particular question. You know that something does happen, but you don't know how it happens. Or even specifically with Samus's case, we don't even know why her suit goes from being what it is in Fusion to why it looks the way it does in Dread. We know conceptually, but like, you look at the colors of what the Fusion suit looks like, and then you look at the colors of what the Various suit looks like at the beginning of Dread, and you're like, there's a very interesting choice in terms of how the suit looks now in comparison to how it looked previously. It would be interesting to actually go into that a little bit. Be like, okay, let's dive into that a little bit. Now, the only thing I think that kind of hinders this a little bit, again, kind of goes back to this thing that I've said before, which is because it's never strictly defined on whether or not Prime and the mainline series actually do interplay with each other at all. It kind of means that, like, okay, you look at what the Metroid Prime suits look like, and then you look at how the suits look like in the mainline series, and you're like, there's a significant change here. Like in terms of how things like fit together chronologically speaking.
Yeah. at least in terms of like how the various suit looks in Prime compared to how it looks over the rest of the series, I kind of really chalk that up more to just artistic design as opposed to like the suit actually like being modified or changed by Samus. I mean, it is possible that sort of thing. I feel like the jump to fusion, like, that explicitly explains why her suit changed, because they had to literally cut the old suit off in order to save her life. And like,
that makes they explain diegetically why it's like that. Like,
and the fusion
there's an
suit
actual
is
reason.
the biological components of her suit that survived that process. Like, that's just what happened. And then,
which is a horrifying thought.
Yeah, we don't really know. We don't really see the through path from Metroid Fusion to Metroid Dread suit designs. I mean, they say, like, somebody somewhere, like, working for Nintendo said, oh yeah, it's the biological parts of her suit, like, healing over time and eventually, like, et cetera, because, like, the Chozo power suit is sort of like a metaphysical thing, which is weird. But
as long as we don't do what they do in Other M.
Yeah.
It's like she has to be in the right emotional state. Not to be in the right emotional state.
Which, I mean, contradicted so many times over this whole series. But we're not going to go into that. But, yeah, I mean, it also gives like the opportunity to see like a midway design between what we see in Fusion and what we see in Dread. And like, I also just like seeing different designs for Samus' suit. Like,
and here's a fun little like storycraft tip for anybody listening. If you're going to do a prequel story or like a story that exists in between other entries and whatnot, understand that the worry of damage or fatalities happening to your main character are completely out the window. Like, that's there's the idea of Samus being in any like mortal danger is not really something you can worry about. So the way that you could make that an interesting concept is being a situation. Yeah, Bambi 2. Enough of the Bambi. Is this idea that, like, you know, the story centers around the idea of her like interfacing with, like, you know, maybe another race of, you know, beings and whatnot, you know, and having that be a situation, because now the agency is whether or not they make it out. It's the whole conversation I've had with multiple people about talking about how I feel about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Like, the problem is that you know what happens. So like all the agency and worry about like, oh, is it going to work? You know, it has to, because literally the first movie in the entire franchise wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of interesting concepts that you can do with something like that. It's just figuring out what that is.
And I mean, you could also make the argument that as a video game, you know that at the end, quote unquote, Samus wins. But
yeah.
I mean,
with most of these things, but you know.
I mean, Prime 2, the whole story of, like, I think Prime 2 had, like, a really good thing going with, like, the whole story of the war between the Luminoth and the Ing, and then Samus arriving, like, right at the end of the war to turn it around. Like,
yeah,
that's just really cool. And, like, of course, you know, Samus is gonna win, but, like, it's still part of the fun is finding out how close.
Exactly. That's exactly
to losing.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that the realization is like, if Samus is in the battle, she will come out victorious, but that fate is not shared by others who are here. How interesting it would be if Samus shows up, she turns the tide in the favor of, it was the Luminoth that she was fighting alongside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How interesting it would be if there were factions of the Luminoth that were just like, where the hell were you? Like, we lost the majority of our like people, like, and it would be interesting to have it be like this perspective of like, you know, it turns the savior aspect on its head a little bit, because yes, you do defeat the grand evil, but that doesn't necessarily mean the people that you helped are going to be like, they're not obligated to feel grateful, like, because the idea of it being like, so why didn't you show up sooner?
Yeah.
The hell was that about? Like, there's a lot of interesting concepts with stuff like that. Like, there are things that you can do. Like, and again, there's this whole like internal conflict that you could even imagine. Because here's the deal. The internal conflict that Samus has that shows up in a really awkward way in Other M. Talking like, I think the concept of Samus realizing that like Metroids, if interfaced at a young age, could actually be used for like something else. Like, that comes into this really interesting idea of like how you could theoretically like position this, because like even the word Mothroid in Chizoan, it's ultimate warrior, right? That's not indicatively good or evil.
Yeah.
It's just, you can have an ultimate warrior of good and an ultimate warrior of evil. You could have either one of those things.
And you could have an ultimate warrior who defeats Hulk Hogan!
Yeah. And here he comes from the cage match, dropping in from the ceiling. But like, there's an interesting thought that to be had there. And like, the argument could be made that like Samus becomes that in Dread. She becomes the embodiment of both directions of the word Mothroid, of what Metroid means in both directions. It's literally the parasite, but she is a warrior that is in the favor of, protagonistic forces.
I also, and I gotta agree with you that like it feels like the pathos that Other M wanted to do with the whole like, Metroids aren't just mindless killing machines. Like, it feels like they could have taken that in an interesting direction, especially with Samus, who was like, I just killed all the Metroids, and then a Metroid sacrificed itself to save my life.
That is an interesting character study opportunity.
Yeah,
because it's like it shifts the direction.
And it kind of feels like from the start of Metroid Other M that's kind of the direction they might go, and then they just don't. And it's very disappointing, and I'm very angry
about it. It's really disappointing, because conceptually, that's an interesting concept. Because then, like, and again, I understand that like you usually phrase Samus in these games as being, this grizzled hard ass that like, is very like to the point. She's very blunt, barely says anything, like that sort of thing. But like, it would be interesting to have that idea of now there's that weight on her conscience. Like, did I just commit a complete species eradication towards something that we just didn't understand the actual like full range of what this thing could be or could have been?
She actually has to think about the consequences of her mission outside of just, I beat the bad guys and blew up their planet.
Yeah, because because you've told me, and you've had this conversation with people before about like how the Galactic Federation and their choices from story to story kind of they have, shall we say, conflicting ideals at times.
Yeah, part of it is apparently mistranslations, but I do think it adds a little bit more depth to the series, the idea that there is some form of like corrupt governmental body that Samus has unknowingly advanced the fucking ambitions of to a certain degree. Like,
yeah,
because like Samus is like worked for the Federation her whole life, and she has fought space pirates her whole life because space pirates killed her family. and she
Space pirates killed my grandma. Okay.
Yeah, she fucking hates space pirates. They killed her family twice. That's how hardcore the space pirates killed her family. They did it twice. Both her biological family and her found family. Damn, son. So like it is totally
Come on,
understandable
son.
that it is totally understandable that like a Samus who has grown up in this environment and became a Chozo warrior would side with the Galactic Federation and fight against the space pirates with no other motivation than I just want to fucking do it. I just want to I just want to kill space pirates because I hate space pirates. Blam blam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah. Blam blam, thank you, ma'am. So that kind of leads into my quote-unquote story fix for Other M that places it before the first Metroid in the timeline, where Adam ends up having to sacrifice himself because he recognizes that Samus is and could be, like, a really good force for, like, actual good, but Samus at this point is just angry and arrogant, and has made a very terrible mistake that somebody needs to stay behind and die to make up for it, and Adam is just like, oh, I'm the better choice, and that's what happens. That's how Adam dies, and then Samus gets affected by that, and that's what leads Samus to becoming the still very confident, but a lot more controlled and restrained. Humbled. Yeah, she was humbled, and she, like, I can understand, again, like, raised in the environment that she was, and with situations that there were, that's the sort of thing that, like, yeah, she would need to be humbled, because she's just the best soldier, and that would, like, Other M says, oh yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder, I hated these fucking guys, like, yeah, sure, keep that in there, but, like, actually have it lead to something, have her actually get humbled for something that's her fault. Because Other M humbles her for something that's not her fault, and I don't like
she
that.
had no agency. Yeah, like she didn't really, like, and worse yet is that then, like, she even tries to, like, stop the thing from happening, but the thing that stops her from getting involved in that particular instance of Adam going to go fight the final boss, like,
yeah,
it's stupid.
It's so dumb. But then, like, she's still working for the Galactic Federation, no questions, because space pirates are the bad guy, Galactic Federation is the good guy. I like the idea that later on in life, after the space pirates have effectively left the scene, we finally see that, yeah, maybe the Galactic Federation themselves weren't exactly always the good guy, and maybe there are some aspects of the Galactic Federation that she just kind of overlooked because she was hyper-focused on this one thing. And now that that one thing is gone, like,
she's suddenly able to examine.
Yeah.
She suddenly has the ability to see that, like, oh, the way that the Galactic Federation got, like, certain planets and races of beings involved in this particular war actually weren't great. Like,
and
you know, very colonialism in this sort of regard.
It kind of leads into my other, like, my Metroid fan game idea that took place post-Fusion before Dread came along, which was Samus actually does get arrested for blowing up SR-388 at the end of Metroid Fusion. Apparently just doesn't happen between Fusion and Dread, which bothers me a little bit. But she actually does get arrested. But an entirely different cadre of space pirates, they show up, and it turns out that, like, Federation may have accidentally created some aspects of the space pirates. Like, the Mother Brain is basically sort of an Aurora unit. But these space pirates are still doing horrible things. It's just like, some of them might not be as bad as you think they are. So, it leads into a situation where Samus actually has to pick a side. You can still side with the Federation, you can side with the space pirates, and which side you side with chooses, like, what upgrades you get throughout the game.
Ooh. Because I think that would be an interesting concept, because of where Samus falls. It means that she has the ability to explore the gray area.
Yeah.
Like, she is, because yes, to build off your idea of how, if you had a story that took place before the first Metroid game, where you rethink about how Adam sacrifices and whatnot, you could have it be to where like the reason why Samus is so cocky and arrogant is because she is under the opinion, and this might be something that she learned, that like everybody that's going to like Federation training camp and like anybody who's here doesn't really have like a motive. Like they're just doing it because they want to do it. She's doing it because she has a sense, like an entitlement of duty behind it because of her history. Like,
yeah,
she might have been the only person in her regiment, in her class, that have like actually been fucked over by the space pirates. Everybody else is just like, oh, my dad was in the Federation and I want to be like my daddy. And it's like, cool. My family was murdered by a space dragon, and like I had to watch.
I'm taking this seriously.
Yeah, like it would be an interesting concept because you now have this idea of like Samus, even like really early on, is like on the fast track to being promoted like really quickly. She is very well motivated, and again, you realize that the Federation also takes an interest in this lady in particular, because they also have that connective tissue of her having connections to the Chozo. And like, depending on where timelines are in this particular point in time, that would be an interesting ace to have up the Federation's sleeve, because the Chozo are kind of a mixed bag on whether or not they are good or are they like spawns of Satan. Because in some instances, they're like, no, these are good people. These people have helped us. But then you turn the page and they're just like, oh, these people are trying to kill us. Oh. Because like that's what makes the Chozo so interesting, and why Samus conceptually is such an interesting character, not only narratively, but specifically why the Federation is so adamant on keeping her involved. They're studying her. Like, and like, I can tell you right now, that would be a really, really fucked up plot line to explore later on. Samus finds out that that the Federation at some point in time, like, we know for a fact of like trying to clone Samus and whatnot, but like, what if they got close enough? What if there was another human Chozo hybrid, but like it's like in a different direction, if that makes sense? Like, so it is somebody who is mostly Chozo that has human DNA built into them.
So I mean, it is sort of implied that the Federation is kind of studying aspects of Samus's power suit in order to adapt and build their own weaponry, like the plasma cannon that Anthony has. Like, it's a plasma beam, like Samus's plasma beam. Like, he explicitly uses it like Samus's, but his has like a charge up time. He can't like fire it willy nilly like Samus can. He actually has to like charge it up. And the Federation, like all the troopers in Other M, they have ice guns. But they can't just like have their firearm change to ice mode like Samus's can. They have to actually put away their ballistic weapons and switch to a separate weapon that fires ice shots. And like they just can't get like the missiles to work like the same way Samus's do. So like, yeah, they are. And throughout Metroid Fusion, you get like data downloads based on how they've been able to reverse engineer some of Samus's equipment throughout the series. So, yeah, like, taking all of that and then, like, turning it, like, oh, here's another, like, biological experiment that they've been working on. We're trying to create our own Samus. It's not necessarily Samus, but, like, one that we have a little bit more control over.
That's going to be the crux of it.
Yeah.
It's the realization that the Federation realistically is only doing this because they don't have the ability to control Samus in the ways that they like. Samus is still a rogue agent, effectively.
she actually like disobeyed orders in Fusion to explode SR-388 because she was like, the X are bad. If you try to come capture the X, you will all die. So I'm just gonna stop it before anything else can happen. And she does it.
Right. And it works, but like at the expense of an entire planet and its ecosystem being eradicated by the choice of a single person. That's a very, like, I mean, that in and of itself raises a really good question of like, you know, what are the consequences of that? And like, yeah, it is weird that like she doesn't, or if there is any like recoil that happens, like we don't really see it, which either means that like nothing happened, or it specifically can mean a few things. Either A, the Federation looked at what happened to SR-388 and they're like, okay, it's collateral. Like that needed to happen. Samus took a assertive action for something that needed to happen. It sucks that it happened, but it had to happen.
Yeah, I'm not expecting them to like say, "Oh, she's a war criminal," like what happens to Shepard after the Arrival DLC of Mass Effect 2. Like that's not what I'm expecting. But I'm expecting consequences of some sort.
Here's actually, you know what would be an interesting concept? Mm-hmm. It's not the Federation holding her accountable. It's other races that are basically now coming to the Federation being like, no, your warrior destroyed a whole planet. What's to stop them from destroying ours?
Yeah.
And now it becomes this like widespread problem of like, you know, Samus now effectively being thought of by certain peoples of this universe as the world killer.
And it's also hard to explain why she made the decision she did, because the X were literally unknown until...
Exactly!
Until the Metroids went extinct. The only people who knew about the X were the Chozo, and they tried their damnedest to bury them. Like, they invented Metroids to get rid of the X. The only reason the X resurfaced was because Samus came in and killed all the Metroids. And the only reason Samus did that is because, like, she didn't know the X existed. If she knew the X existed and why the Metroids were created, she probably wouldn't have done that.
I just thought of something else that would be interesting. Later on in that story, like the Federation knows like what of Samus's abilities and like what she's capable of doing, but what if there was another race of beings that like, you know, have the ability to like, you know, do science advancement and shit like that, and literally one of them is like, no, hold on, not only does she biologically register as having Metroid DNA, but she has the ability to absorb the X parasite. That means that fundamentally speaking, the X parasite lives in her. She is literally the thing that could destroy the galaxy, and the Federation is protecting her.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting concept because technically speaking, they're right. They are absolutely correct in that analysis. That is a right way of thinking about how Samus functions in this universe and in this world.
Because she does restore abilities by absorbing X parasites, by absorbing the genetic code of those specific X beings.
Mm-hmm. Which again, I'm still hoping, I'm still holding on to this slight slimmer of hope. That means that like in whatever storyline follows after Dread, we get to have conversations with Quiet Robe. Okay, I want this so bad. I just can think of like how fun that concept would be of like Quiet Robe effectively appearing like a Force ghost, but only she can perceive him.
Oh, you know what that would be good for in terms of gameplay?
Talk to Ghost Grandpa.
Make that the hint system. Like,
yes!
If the player's having trouble finding like the way forward, maybe every once in a while you see the ghost of Quiet Robe. He just appears in like a little part of the room, and he's like, "Hey, here's a little morph ball passage you missed." It's like, "Oh, I know to go in the morph ball." And
and like also on top of that, Quiet Robe being like, he is a scientist of the Thoha tribe.
Mhm.
How fun would it be if like Samus is like walking around on a planet that like is new to her and whatnot, and literally like Quiet Robe like appears like next to her and whatnot, and he like literally shows her what the sequence is to the door. And like it then like it cuts to her like looking at the sequence, and then she walks up and inputs the code, and like perhaps like somebody was nearby and he like looks at her input like this really complex code, and he just goes, how the hell did you know how to do that? And it's realizing that's an interesting way of teaching the player and the audience that like, wait a minute, Samus is like not only absorbing the abilities of creatures that were infected by the X, but she's also like literally grabbing bits and pieces of who they were.
Their knowledge, which is
their
something the
knowledge
X
is
were
now
able to
open to
absorb.
her. Yeah, their knowledge is now something she is able to access, which is why the whole idea of her being able to quote unquote converse with Quiet Robe in her head, it canonically and diegetically makes sense. She's literally conversing with an aspect that she has absorbed. The difference is that in reality, all of this, like all of that knowledge is shit that she just like already knows. It's already a part of her. She already knows the stuff. But what you can do is that in these moments, you can have these scenes that are specifically tailored for us, the audience. Are these scenes literally happening? No, but this is a representation of how Samus is getting this knowledge. And that would be an interesting way of being able to showcase like these concepts and these ideas. Because like, it also would mean that like when Samus goes to like old Chozoan ruins and whatnot, you literally now have the ability to look at things with a new context. Quiet Robe might have actually been here. Like, that's an interesting thing that you're now able to dive in. And, that's such an interesting way of reopening and specifically being able to go backwards to like maybe worlds that you visited in previous games, and you now are able to experience them with a literal different lens. Like, this was conceptually thought of like, it's a place of this, maybe that, the Chozo did this sort of thing in this area, and it's only conceptualized based off of what things we can kind of perceive in our surroundings and in this area. But Samus now literally knows that this area was literally a scientific exploration room where they would bring in and actually test things. Like, there's so many interesting ways about how you can do this. And remember, the Thoha tribe literally were the only ones that could control the Metroid.
Yep.
So what if, like there's a way that you can do this idea of like literally Quiet Robe and everything about him is now part of Samus. What if, because of how Samus is and how like she functions and whatnot, her being able to control her Metroid powers is something that still has to be worked at?
Oh my god, it's the new hyper mode, just transforming into Metroid Samus.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd be down with
Oh god. Oh my god. Like, and like hyper mode in most games is like, it's like something that has to like, it's not toggled all the time. It like has to go away eventually, right?
Yeah,
Like usually.
In Prime 1, you have to actually stand in like the pools of Phaaze on Metroid Prime drops in order to use the Phaaze on beam in hyper mode. In Prime 3, you do have to like actually inject a power and energy tank in order to activate hyper mode. It doesn't appear in any other game.
I just thought about like how a fun little tidbit that you could do that Samus Entroids. Oh god. Samus enters Metroid mode, which is effectively hyper mode, and she's able to stay in it for a certain amount of time. But once like the timer runs out, you literally hear Quiet Robe's voice. Like he says something in Chozoan, but like the way the way that it's presented, it's literally like to Samus. Like, and you realize that what he's actually saying is breathe, Samus. he's telling her, like, okay, reel it back. He's slowly teaching her over time that, like, yes, you can dip into this, but you're not ready to continue doing this. Take a step back, reel it in. That's how long you can hold this for. It's basically teaching her, like, you need to learn how to hold your breath effectively underwater.
I think
you can do it for a certain amount of time now, but you need to get better at doing it.
I think this would be a good way to recontextualize the Aeon gauge, actually. Because the Aeon gauge was introduced in the Metroid 2 remake, and it's just an energy that you use for certain weapons or abilities, and it's never really explained what Aeon is, except a unique energy to SR388 that actually caused the Metroids to mutate, and then it just appears in Metroid Dread apropos of nothing. It's just, oh, we had the Aeon gauge in the previous game we made, we're gonna bring it back to this game. I think it'd be interesting if, like, the Aeon gauge, like, Aeon energy is actually what allows Samus to tap into her Metroid powers. And then
Interesting.
The Aeon gauge for Metroid 6 would be tied to the powers that you can use in Samus's Metroid form.
I like that. It allows you to go back and use something previously that, like you said, it recontextualizes how you could bring it back, but still make it work within the story that you're kind of crafting moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, I love thinking about this stuff because it's fun to, like, conceptualize the ways that you could do this. And what did Billy say? Just a thought based on EB's idea of Quiet Robe ghost guiding the way, maybe sequences where she lives some of Quiet Robe's memories. Ooh.
That is something you can do, because, again, Prime 2, Metroid Samus Returns and Metroid Dread have, like, unlockable images that kind of go through, like, flashbacks of what happened on SR388 and Planet CDR. Just bring that back.
Oh, dude, what if you literally, you get to watch those scenes? Like, previously it was images, it was paintings, it was still recreations. What if you literally got to witness those scenes happen?
But now we're kind of getting into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom memory.
Sure, but how we go about doing it is different.
Yeah.
Where it's not like you walk up to something and you go, oh, and you, like, flashback. It's literally, like, the way that it's implanted is how you are experiencing these things differently. Because, again, most of the time, the way that the visions worked in Breath of the Wild, those were different because, like, those were almost always through Link's eyes.
Yeah.
With Tears of the Kingdom, it's a little different because, like, a lot of the times it's about things that don't involve Link at all. He's seeing visions of things that happened to somebody else. So the way that you could do this concept leans more in the Tears of the Kingdom method, but it's realizing that those scenes that you see, those images, those, like, unlockable images from, like, you know, different, like, time frames in Metroid's past, you realize that most, if not all of them, are literally from Quiet Robe's perspective. That scene where it's Ravenbeak commanding an army and there's just a pile of dead members of the Thoha tribe, what you're literally seeing is literally what Quiet Robe was seeing. He was literally the only one left alive, and he literally had to watch this happen.
I think this is probably the best way to expand upon the Scam Visor lore system.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like, I think this is the best way to expand upon that. And I like the idea of I do like the idea of, like, piecing together these memories again to, like, create a whole story. Like, that's one of the things I love about the lore in Metroid Prime, like, 1, 2, and 3. Is just, like, taking all these little pieces and seeing how they fit together. So, like, I'd like to see, like, all these flashbacks, like, you see, like, bits and pieces, and then eventually after you find enough of these bits and pieces, you're able to construct a full memory. that goes all the way through. So, like, you scan this thing, and you get a little bit, and you just, like, get a little flash of, like, what happened to Quiet Rope, and then you scan another thing, you get another little flash that, like, looks like it happens around the same place, but you're not sure. Eventually, you scan enough of these together, and it says, oh, data complete, and you get the full... You can finally watch the full scene play out.
You can literally see, like, how this whole thing plays from start to finish based on, like a particular sequence of events, maybe a certain timeline of things. Maybe it's a bunch of things that happen like from start to finish. Maybe it's a situation where, like, yeah, you have this one thing, you know, this happened to Quiet Robe at one point, but then you have other instances of being able to, like, figure out, like, the different things that happen to different folks. Maybe it's not even flashback.
You know what would be a really cool way of doing it, actually?
What's up?
You know, what would be
What's up?
Really cool way of doing it, actually. You still see everything from Samus's perspective. It's just the room that you're in, where you scanned all these little bits. You're able to actually see the events play out, and you're able to actually move around and follow the characters as they're doing it. So, like, you see the characters as, like, specters, and, like, maybe you also see some of the, like, there's a broken down console in the corner. Like, when you're watching the memory happen, you see the silhouette of when it wasn't broken, or, like, a statue that's collapsed. You see, like, the silhouette of the statue, like, put together, and then, like, Quiet Robe and whoever he's talking to, they're standing on, like, a platform that hasn't collapsed. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it.
Yeah, like, there's ways that you can, because the beautiful part is that what that also allows you to do is that it allows you to travel to these different locations. You see the state of things as they currently are, but then when you're able to go back, you're able to see how things used to be. And you're able to, like, you're now able to see that, like, oh, the decay that happened in this area happened because, you know, it, like, literally this was the last time anybody was here, or, you know, maybe this scene is happening when there's literally, like, a battle happening outside, and when you flash back to back to the present, you then, like, look around the room and you realize, like, oh, this place got bombed. Like, like, whenever this happened, like, whoever, like, whatever, a mass destruction happened. Like, there's interesting ways that you can conceptualize this. There's a lot of interesting ways you can go about doing this.
Oh, man. And then I just had another idea. Like, like, you mentioned, like, the whole battle and, like, the areas collapsed. Like, what if, like, the key to entering the next area, you have to scan everything and find this memory. And then you actually play the Chozo warrior who's in the memory.
Oh.
All the Chozo warriors, they have, like, power suits. So, like, oh, hey, you get a fight scene where you're actually playing as a Chozo warrior who has, like, basically the same equipment Samus does, because Chozo power suits, they all just have the same stuff. And, like, you play through the memory, and then when you get to the end of the memory, bam, you're Samus again. You're in the same spot where the Chozo warrior, like, ended the memory, except now you see, like, how the area is in modern times. You get your time travel without time travel.
Exactly. That's how you do that.
And,
like,
that would be really cool, because, hey, you get to play as a character who isn't Samus, but at the same time still basically Samus. Because for gameplay purposes,
the new Metroid games. Listen to the mole who lives in our server. Hi.
Even better.
Even better. Here we go.
The Chozo warrior that you're playing as has an ability that Samus doesn't have, that you will eventually unlock by exploring this area that you're in.
Yes. God! What if
you just fight a boss as Samus, and then you get the ability, and then you get to use it for yourself?
Oh man, I just realized, like, it would actually, like, I just realized contextually, it would also be really heartbreaking, because, like, you go back in time, and you're playing as this Chozo warrior in this great battle, and, like, he has this ability that you're gonna get and whatnot. But the way that you get it is you find the remains of that Chozo.
Yeah.
Oh, that puts an interesting spin on this idea, because, like, now there's, like, a different way to like think about how this is. I know it's not the greatest analogy, but it's kind of like the skeleton guy from Twilight Princess, where it's like, it's like, oh, it's Skeleton Man teaching you skills and traits that you then have the ability to like use onward. And then depending on how you feel about like the connective tissue about like who the Skeleton Man might have been, like that sort of thing. Like that's an interesting way of going about doing that, because that allows there to be that like there's now weirdly like a sentimental sort of aspect to this. Like this warrior in this memory taught me how to use it, and now I am literally accepting it from them as they are now.
Yep.
Oh, like she literally is able to take it off of like their armor that like remains still, and she's able to like append it to hers. Oh. It's fun talking about this stuff.
I like this Metroid game that we came up with. I like it.
Damn it, we do this all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
At least it's documented.
If I eventually manage to make that like quote unquote anti-Metroid game idea that I've thought of, I might just like steal some of these ideas. And just use that.
That's fine. Are you kidding me? I want to see these.
Because, I mean, they would fit so well in this anti-Metroid idea I came up with, because, like, the whole concept is, like, dream weavers and, like, dream space and that sort of thing. Oh, man. Okay. Anyway, this is why I love Metroid. This is why we love Metroid. So
I like story shit, so here we are. New ideas from the stream.
Yep.
Welcome to the VOD.
Thank y'all for sticking with us for what ended up being half of the stream. This is why we have a month of it. This is why we have 2 months of it.
It's a very long month.
Shut up. But we're going back to Chibi Robo after this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it because Chibi Robo.
Hell yeah.
Chibi Robo's fun, but it's also it's also very heavy. Oh,
another Metroid.
I mean, he does have an arm cannon.
It's true. Ooh.
And you get a charge shot for it. So I mean,
what is Telly but a robotic Metroid?
Oh my god, he is. We will never escape.
Oh, that would be really cute, though, to like imagine them like dressing up for Halloween. Chibi Robo's dressed up as Samus, and Telly's dressed up like a Metroid. It's like an inflatable suit that's like on top of everything.
Telly, but quiet, bro.
Oh god. It's just his head, just floating around. Oh my god.
But
this was an eventful month of one game.
Yep. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.